So, really, what I want to talk about is just how all this is possible through just the willpower, having in your brain that you can do something, you can do whatever you want. You put it in your brain and you think about it enough, it will become true. I promise you that. Look at this. That, this is all Canadian money. I was able to get through just using my bank, pulling it out, because real estate investing made it possible. You can do it. Look. If anyone can do it, if I can do it, you can do it too. That's the thing. If I can do anything, you can also do it. I came from nothing. I came from a normal family. We had just enough to get by. I joined the military. I spent 5.5 years in the military. I come out and I'm able to start this career, start this progress. You can do it too. What's stopping you? What's holding you back more than the limitations of your own brain? If you tell yourself that you can do something, you can absolutely do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. But that aside, let's talk about this trip. So you saw when I flew out of Myrtle Beach and I went to Charlotte. All right, so I get to Charlotte and I completely forget to film. There's also a lot of people in Charlotte Airport. I don't know if you've ever been there or not. So many people in Charlotte Airport. So many. Anyways, I don't like to film in public yet. I mean, I've just started this. This is my first video. So I went to the USO and I took a good little nap, like a 30-minute nap. I can't show you that. There's people sleeping there too. It's kind of weird. Then I went to this restaurant. I can't remember the name of it, but they had the best breakfast that I ever asked for, honestly. Hands down, the best breakfast. I left there about 15-20 minutes till I board. I get on this plane in Charlotte. American Eagle. Don't know if you've ever been on American Eagle. Let me tell you, the American Eagle airline is so small. So small. I'm a 6'2" guy, about 240-ish pounds. Luckily, I upgraded to get the main business extra, so I had a little bit extra leg room. If not, I've been suffering the whole time. I get into Toronto, YYX, or YYZ. Sorry. I land. All right, we're getting off. And I'm like, where the heck am I? We are walking onto the tarmac. I'm looking around. There's snow everywhere. And the plane's super small. But it's, in comparison, when you're standing beside it, it's like, how is my head almost touching where the pilots can see? It's insane. In the cabin, the main cabin, I get up to go use the restroom. And my head is tilted because I'm touching the ceiling. I'm only 6'2". How tall are you ceiling? 6'1"? All right, so we get off. I'm going to YYZ Airport. I don't know what it stands for. We just call it Toronto Airport. I'm going into the Toronto Airport, and it's beautiful, huge, spacious, but nothing there at all. It looked like we're the only flight coming in. So I'm walking down, going up to all these escalators, and I needed to use the bathroom so bad. But one thing they don't tell you is the bathrooms, or washrooms as they call it here, are so spread out that you can't see them at all. You cannot see these fucking bathrooms. So I might have passed 5 or 6, didn't know. Finally, I come up on this washroom and I'm like, thank you, Jesus Christ. I use it and I leave. And I come up and I enter this room, a huge room, huge. The walls went out, back, huge. And there's all these tablets. And there's this lady standing in front of all the tablets. I'm like, what in the Black Mirror is this? So I look at the tablets. I look at her. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, oh, this is customs. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, just scan your passport and you'll be all right. I was like, okay. So I scan my passport. I'm good. I put it for business, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for business, for real estate investing and networking. I go to the customs guy. Let me tell you, I've been to a couple different countries with the military. This is the first time I've ever been through customs. This man was like, what business do you have doing in Canada? I was like, I'm doing real estate investing. He was like, how you doing real estate? Can you sell houses in Canada? I was like, no, but I'm doing remote real estate in Toronto, and I'm networking with a couple guys. He's like, how would that help your business? And I was like, I mean, it would help both of us grow our business exponentially by just networking. He's like, oh, explain more. And I started explaining all this stuff. I just kept talking. I kept talking. And finally, he was like, okay, you go ahead. I was like, okay, thank you so much, sir. And I'm walking out. I have this piece of paper in my hand. I don't think I still have it on me, but I dropped it over there. I had this piece of paper in my hand, and I get to the front door. All right, I'm about to get out. But I wanted a stamp on my passport, because who doesn't? Who doesn't want a stamp on their passport? I do. I do. So I was like, hey, man, can I get a stamp? He's like, well, unfortunately, I don't do stamps. But you can go back in there to the customs people. And they just interrogated me. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, you can go up there and ask them for a stamp on your passport. Just walk in there and go to any of the booths. I was like, oh, okay. After this dude just gets done interrogating me, I'm like, okay, all right. I'll go and I'll get a stamp on my passport. I do. It works. I'm like, all right, cool. I go get my bags, come get an Uber in Mississauga. Uber driver's cool. He tells me all about Toronto and everything. And then I get into where I'm supposed to be, which is where I'm here now at Pathway Suites in Mississauga. And I'm like, okay, I'm a couple hours early from check-in. I arrive at like 11:30. He tells me, I walk in, he's like, hey man, check-in's at 3. I might be able to get you in at 2, but check-in's at 3. Come back at 2. I'm like, okay. So I go down to the One Square Mall. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. One Square Mall, probably like a half a mile that way. And I go in there, very nice mall. Very, very nice mall. And so I'm walking around. And I just keep seeing food court after food court. Well, me being me, I needed a beer or 5. Anyways, so I look up a bar near me. I am going to the 6 in Mississauga. I heard it's pretty well known. Anyways, I go to the 6. Very nice bar. Very good drinks. They had Happy Dad. I was very surprised. But Happy Dad is a Canadian beer because, from Canada. I actually made up some friends there. Justin, some other girl, and then the waitress. We're talking, and they started giving me shit because they're like, "Oh, so how far is your hotel from here?" I was like, half a mile. And they all started laughing. I was like, "Why are you laughing?" And he was like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, how far is the hotel again?" And he asked again. I was like, "Okay, well, maybe they want kilometers." So I converted to kilometers. I said it again. They all kept laughing. Every single last one of them. And finally, I was like, "Okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing." And the waitress was like, "That's how you know he's American." I don't know what the Canadian accent is. And I was like, "Oh, damn, they got me here." Supposedly, you're talking time, not distance. Anyways. 3 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to the place, see if I can check in. I go back to the place, and he's like, man, I told you to be here at 2. It's 3. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Whatever. So I come in. We check in, whatever. I come up to the room. Oh, while I was checking in, they were playing, I guess, Zelensky and Trump in the Oval Office had a very heated argument. And I couldn't help but look back because Trump was dogging Zelensky, and Zelensky was dogging Trump. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? Because I had no idea this shit was going on. Honestly, I had no idea. I've been on flights for the past day, basically. Since like 3 a.m., I've been, in my mind's flights. I had no idea this meeting was happening. So I come back, and I turn around and look, and this guy was like, hey. So it's going to be a $400 deposit, whatever. All right, I come into the room. I mean, it's not a bad-looking room, honestly. I could be in a hotel. I could be in somewhere with just 1 bedroom and a window. This isn't a bad place to stay. I got some work I got to do, real estate investing stuff. I mean, we're going to go over it all later. Just watch the future videos. I'm going to teach you everything I know. I mean, it has a decent view. But overall, I mean, the trip's been pretty good. We're going to get into some shit later. Let me tell you. So one thing I did find out is in America, you go to the gas station and get some beer. Let me get close for this. You go to the gas station and get some fucking beer, right? In America, not in Mississauga. You go to the beer store. Who the fuck's heard of the beer store? Not me. I don't know anybody else. Nope. Yeah, the beer store. At least there's some close by. That's something I found out from the waitress. At least I have some Canadian dollars, so I can go to the beer store Overall, it's been a pretty good trip. No, I can't lie. So we're gonna get back into it later once I have some more things to talk about. Also, once we go through some more stuff together. Tomorrow, expect a video of just how wholesaling works, the operations of it. We're not gonna go into too much depth yet about like the day-to-day of wholesaling, like how you set up your CRMs or anything. We're just gonna go over the very minute basics of what I would want to know if I was a new wholesaler. Of like, this is what you need to do. This is the calls that you need to make, and this is how the calls are formatted. We're not gonna get into too much in depth about, well, you gotta set up this CRM, you gotta do this and this and that and the third. That's where people fall behind. Is when you get too much in depth because you watch these gurus on YouTube, like the big people with mentorships. They're trying to tell you to do all this at once. You don't need to do that. If you have a cell phone and you have Zillow, you can make it all happen. But hey, yeah, I just want to give you a little heads up about what's going on in Canada, give you a little bit of knowledge. We'll see how everything goes later.